insert time of day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Cal, and at long last, we did it. We have finally arrived at the first YouTube video of 2026. Before we begin, I just want to thank you all for the very positive feedback on my top 20 albums of 2025 video. That list was a lot of fun to make and also really hard to make because, excuse me, Album of the Year season is a very tricky time of year, but I digress. Today, I am tackling a long-standing metal tradition. I am taking on the Metal Tag 2026. So, for those who don't know what this is essentially a 20-question style video created by the good gentlemen over at the Heavy Metallurgy, Marty and Allan. Hi guys, if you're watching this. And essentially what it does, it allows collectors to go through their musical collection and talk about all the albums that they have, either rare ones, just ones they purchased, or those strangest ones that they have yet, like one-offs and such. And my collection is kind of small, so most of the stuff you see will not be from my actual collection. But I wanted to give my own 2 cents into this one, so with that being said, if you want to take on the Metal Tag of 2026, you are very much more than welcome to, because this is such a fun topic to discuss and go over. And essentially, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be talking about 20 different albums and musical topics, and hopefully the guys over at Metallurgy will find this kind of interesting. I say kind of because, well, we'll figure that out. Anyway, so, question 1, giddy up. 2026 is the year of the Fire Horse. Show an album with a horse on the cover. Horse-like creatures such as Pegasus are permitted, but you lose some street cred if you show a unicorn. And that seems kind of realistic, though unicorns are horses in their own right. Anyway, I can tackle this both with the Fire Horse and the horse, like Throws of Metal did, with Mastodon's Remission. This is going to shock some of you, but I have not listened to this album. I have only heard part of March of the Fire Ants, and that might be the sludgiest song I have ever heard. Do I respect the album? Yes, it had a lot of impact on the metal scene at large. Have I listened to it? No, I still need to, and it's going to be kind of bittersweet with Brent gone, but I mean, it's Mastodon. Mastodon's awesome already. Number 2, Nostalgia. Show an album that you do not think is very good, but you can't bring yourself to get rid of it. And I actually have this in my collection, The Division Bell by Pink Floyd. Once again, I have not listened to this album, but I know it is very divisive amongst Pink Floyd fans. I know Michael Nolan loves this album for whatever reason. And one of the reasons I feel that this is controversial among Pink Floyd fans is because this is the first album without Roger Waters. This is where David Gilmour had to take up most of the writing, and it was just him, Nick, I don't remember Nick's last name, and there were some parts by Richard Wright, but I'm pretty sure he had already been fired by then. But yeah, this is a controversial album, but I don't really see a reason to get rid of it, so in my collection, it will probably stay. Number 3, GOAT. You know where this is going. Show your favorite album from 2025. Well, if any of you saw my Album of the Year videos, you all know that my number 1 album from 2025 was, of course, Zenith by Bleed From Within. I practically raved over this album, and rightfully so, because it is still as good as the first day I jammed it. Like, still, even when I had only heard Hands of Sin, I knew this album was going to be my number 1. And all the other great songs in here, Violent Nature, In Place of Your Halo, Zenith, A Hope in Hell, Dying Sun, Chained to Hate, Edge of Infinity, all the songs in here. And Scott and Steven just trading off on both harsh and clean vocals. It's so, so good. And just hearing how much this band has grown since their early days is wonderful. And yes, I am going to do my darndest to go and see this band on their US tour, no doubt about it. And if you have not listened to this album, I highly recommend it to you. Throw whatever opinions you have of metalcore aside, just listen to it. You will not regret it one single bit. Number 4, From Beyond. Show a favorite album that is not a heavy metal album. And there are quite a few. I was brought up in a classic rock household, mainly with my dad. But in terms of favorites, I will just go ahead and tell you what my favorite album of all time is, and that is News of the World by Queen. This is still my favorite album of all time, and yes, it is mostly because of We Will Rock You and We Are the Champions. But I still love it. I mean, still to this day, those are the big two singles, but also Sheer Heart Attack, Spread Your Wings, which was covered by Blind Guardian as a bonus track to Somewhere Far Beyond, and all the other ones like Sleeping on the Sidewalk, Who Needs You, My Melancholy Blues, Fight from the Inside. This whole album is just chock full of secret hits, and while it was kind of controversial at the time because of the genre shift, it's still so good. And I mean, everyone shines on this album. Freddie Mercury's vocals, incredible. Brian May's guitar playing, immaculate. Roger Taylor and John Deacon, absolutely incredible. I'd say they are the best rhythm section in all of rock. Yes, even over Rush. But I know that's going to spark a bit of controversy, but hey, I'm cool with it. If you have not listened to this album and you are a Queen fan, you are doing yourself a disservice. I highly recommend you give this album a spin. And all I need to say is, Queen is my favorite band of all time. There, you heard me say it, everybody. Number 5, The Unknown. Show an album you can't remember ever hearing someone talk about on YouTube. And there is an asterisk on mine because the guys over at Thralls of Metal talked about this the day after it got released. And the album I'm choosing for this question is Nordic Gothic, the debut album by Cemetery Skyline. I saw this band make their US debut at Prog Power USA this year. I met the guys. They are absolutely amazing people, and their performance was absolutely amazing. But no one has talked about this album other than the Thralls, and I need to ask, why has no one talked about this album? Because it is so good. Like, every track on here. Torn Away, In Darkness, Behind the Lie, oh gosh, I'm drawing a blank on a lot of these songs. Anomaly, there's another one. Alone Together, that last 7-minute song to close the album off is so good. I mean, this whole record is just chock full of hits, and these are all melodic death metal and black metal musicians who got together and formed this band. And it's a wonderful piece of work. I mean, seriously, like Michael Stahn, his clean vocals on this album are incredible, and Marcus Van Halle, the guitar playing is wonderful. Vesaranta and Victor Brandt do an incredible job as the rhythm section, and those synth lines by Santeri Kaleo are absolutely wonderful, and they're so catchy. If you have not listened to this album and you like all the musicians who I just talked about, then definitely listen to this album, because you will walk away with a big smile on your face. Number 6, Front Loaded. Show an album whose first song is its best song. And this is one I think a lot of people will probably agree with me on because of how much the rest of the album is good. But the first song, in my opinion, is always the best. And the album I am talking about is Wisconsin Death Trip by Static X. This is their debut album. And the first song, Push It, in my opinion, is the best song on the whole album. Not to say the rest of the album is all stinkers. Oh no. I'm With Stupid, Bled for Days, Love Dump. No. Love Dump. The Trance is the Motion. December, that last 6-minute song with all the ambience and atmosphere. I really like that song. And I really like this album. It is such an underrated industrial album from the 90s. And if you have not listened to this, I highly recommend you do, because it is very good. Number 7, Encore. Show an album that you think would be better if it were longer. And, oh man, there's a lot of albums that come to mind. Originally, I was going to say every grindcore album because of how short the songs are. But instead, I'm going to go with an album that came out last year. And that is the new Black Magnet album, Mega Mantra. This is a good album, but it's only 25 minutes long and there are 9 songs. There could have easily been a few more songs added to make it around 40 minutes, in my opinion, and it would have been a great album still. Number 8, Fail. Show an album you bought that disappointed you. I didn't buy this album, but it was my worst album of the year this year, and you all know where this one is going. Of course, it is Mindustry with Bloodline. I practically burnt this album over an open fire in my honorable mentions video, so I don't really think I need to say much else other than, yeah, this album was not good. I did not get what I was promised, and yeah, this was not great. Number 9, The Return. Show an album that you played in 2025 that you had not played in over a year. And this, unfortunately, to my memory, did not happen because I didn't jam any albums like this. But one that gets kind of close as to I hadn't jammed in a long time is Easton Hope by Orden Ogan. I listened to this on my way to Florida this year, and originally my answer would have been Battalions of Fear by Blind Guardian, but Spotify decided it was going to screw with the track listing so that songs from the newest album were on that album. But I went with this one mainly because of how good it was when I listened to it again. Like, you all know how much I love Orden Ogan. They were the sole reason I went to Prog Power in 2025. But this album is just extraordinary. Like, right from the opening instrumental, Rise and Ruin, leading into Nobody Leaves, that is perfect in my opinion. And there's so many other great songs on this album. Goodbye, the title track, Easton Hope, All These Dark Years, Nothing Remains, Requiem, We Are Pirates, The Black Heart. This whole album, I cannot put to words how good it is. Like, I love the cover art, Andreas Marshall rules, let's just know that. And the vocal choirs on here are just so good. Like, how do you manage to make power metal sound that lush? Like, it is that good. And I know Marty is a big Orden Ogan fan, just like me. And there's going to be a lot more Orden Ogan in this video, just to let you know. And if you have not listened to this album, you are doing yourself a disservice. I highly recommend you listen to this album. It is that good. Number 10, The Joker. Show an album with hilarious cover art. There are a lot of albums that could fit this one. I was originally going to go with Better Than Raw by Helloween, because if you've seen that cover, you know how it looks. And I mean, Helloween were on a bad album cover streak for a while. But one that I'm going to go with in its place is The Art of Partying by Municipal Waste. That one, I mean, you could probably already see why I picked that one, because, yeah, it just looks like a goofy backyard party. Number 11, Yearning. Name a potential album release you're anxiously awaiting in 2026. Oh boy, there are loads of albums that I'm waiting for in 2026. And even into 2027, because Orden Ogan has already confirmed they're releasing a new album that year. But ones that are off the top of my head, Sirenia has confirmed they are releasing a new album. Evergrey is wrapping up studio time. Symphony X is working on new material that has been promised for a good while. There's a lot of albums. But I think at the top of everyone's list is Curtain Call by Sabotage. That is going to be a really bittersweet album to listen to because it will be their final album, and I would love to see them live before they call it a good day. I couldn't get that last part out. Before they call it a day, essentially. But another one, Running Wild's new album. That's going to be even more bittersweet because, like Sabotage, they're ending their career. This time they're playing their final show at Wacken, where Sabotage is going to be too. But after this, it's going to be it for Running Wild. And Milton, if you're watching this, please, if you can make it work, get Rolf Kasprak to Prog Power 2027 to do a Running Wild set. I would love to see that. Number 12, Collector Scum. In your collection, is there a pesky gap in a band's discography that you're hoping to fill? Oh boy. I mean, I would love to own at least one copy of every Queen album, but I don't know if I'll be able to do that, so I don't know if I can answer this question just yet. Number 13, Evolution. Talk about a band or album that you think is successfully moving forward its respective genre creatively. And for mine, I'm also, again, I'm going to have to pick Orden Ogan because I still love this band, and I just think the style of power metal they do, the way they make it more darker sounding, is so good. Like, I love all 8 of their albums, soon to be 9. And I just love the musical style that they play in. They make it heavier, there are breakdowns, there are chorus hooks for literal years, like I said in my Prog Power video, and I still think they give Bleed From Within a run for their money in terms of chorus hooks. And I love the songwriting on the early albums. It is so good. And so are Sebastian Lieberman's lyrics, because they are just wonderfully written on the early albums. And I am so glad I got to see this band at long last at Prog Power this year. I will definitely be first in line to see them again if they ever come to the States. And I think the way they're moving this genre forward collectively, at least for power metal, is they're inventing a new style. They're making it darker, they're making it heavier, because we all know power metal as being lush, bright, the greatest tasting cheese in all of the planet. But they're making it darker and heavier and more emotionally driven, and that's what I like about this band, is the way they play power metal is different than everyone else, and it's wonderful. And if you have not listened to this band, do so right now. I'm looking at you, Thralls of Metal, because this might actually be up your alleyway. Number 14, Told You So. Show an album or albums that someone recommended to you that impressed you enough to purchase it. I have not had this happen to me, unfortunately, so I am kind of out of the loop on this one. Number 15, King Cheese. Oh boy. Recommend a power metal album to Marty Worm that you think is exceptional. He is always on the hunt. I'm with you there, Marty. Power metal is my favorite genre of heavy metal music, and I am still looking for new albums. And I'm going to recommend to you 5 albums to listen to. They are The Gates of Oblivion by Darkmoor, Forever by Grail Knights, Wonderland by Crown, and Ghosts by Instantia, and Plague of Rats by Brainstorm. The last one was my number 1 power metal album of 2025, and this is an Orden Ogan tie-in. It was produced by Zabe from Orden Ogan, so there you go, Marty. 5 new power metal albums for you to check out. You've probably heard a couple of these at least, but I just wanted to throw these out there for you. Number 16, 2 Minutes to Midnight. What was the last album you bought in 2025? It was the only album I bought in 2025, and that was my signed Majestica vinyl of Powertrain. I raved about that album in my top albums of 2025 video and my top power metal albums of 2025. So, yeah, you probably already know how I feel about that one. Number 17, Brain Drain. When feeling musical burnout, what is a nostalgic album that always makes you excited about music again? And this one, I think, needs no introduction. I'm, of course, talking about Nightfall on Middle-earth by Blind Guardian. In my opinion, this is the greatest power metal album of all time. I will die on that mountain, bar none. This is a wonderful piece of music, like right from the opening narration, War of Wrath. All the songs on here are incredible. Into the Storm, Nightfall, The Curse of Feanor, Mirror Mirror, No Lord, Dead Winter Rains, Time Stands Still, The Iron Hill. When Sorrow Sang is probably among my top 3 Blind Guardian songs of all time. This whole album just exudes classic power metal, and I love all the performances on here. Like, Hansi Korsk's vocals are amazing, and I am shocked that this man, he turns 60 this year in 2026, and he still has his 90s era voice. It is aged like a fine wine, and I mean that literally. Andre's guitar playing is exquisite. His leads are just infectious. And Marcus's guitar playing on here is very good as well. And Tormund Stouch and Oliver Holsvarth on the rhythm section are so good. And there's actually fretless bass work on here by Oliver Holsvarth. And the vocal choirs in the background are so good as well. If you have not listened to this album, I highly recommend it to you. You are doing yourself a disservice if you haven't heard this one. Number 18, There's Waldo. Show a classic or older album that you somehow overlooked for many years that you loved as soon as you first heard it. So, we're going back on the Organ trend. Why did I say organ? Anyway, I did not start listening to full Organ albums until 2025. It was then that I heard the masterpiece of an album called Ravenhead. This album is amazing, and I'm going to put out a very hot take. This, in my opinion, is Ogan's heaviest album, and I love the whole thing. Right after the opening self-titled instrumental, so many good songs on here. Ravenhead, Fever, The Lake is top 5 Organ songs for me. Evil Lies in Every Man, Here at the End of the World, Deaf Among the Blind, Sorrow Is Your Tale. This whole album just exudes heavy, and it is just filled with amazing performances. Toby and Zabe on the guitars, Niels and Dirk on the rhythm section, bass and drums, and the vocal choirs on here are so good. And this, in my opinion, is when Ogan were at their peak. From Easton Hope all the way up to Gunman. Not saying the other 3 albums in the discography are bad, because they are still just as good. It's just, in my opinion, between those 4 albums, that was when Ogan was at their best. They haven't been able to top it since, but I think that's a good thing, considering how wonderful those albums are. And if you have not listened to this album, Thralls of Metal, do so right now. It is a masterpiece in power metal. If you like your power metal very heavy, then it is the perfect one for you. Number 19, Hello, My Name Is. Was there a video or stream that you participated in during 2025 that you're especially proud of? I'll include a link in the description. This has not happened to me yet, so I'm afraid I cannot answer this question. And finally, number 20, Into Glory Ride. Name a band that you want to see release one more great album before they retire. And there's a lot of bands that could fit into this part. I'm telling you right now, because of how many bands there are that are suffering creatively. But one that I'm going to pick, and one that's kind of worrying me if this is the case, is going to be Camelot. The last 2 albums have not been very well received by many of their fans, and there was a rumor that was dropped by a sports magazine, of all things, that said Camelot were preparing to do a farewell tour in 2026. If that's the case, I am very worried for the future of this band, because if this winds up happening, then, oh gosh. Yeah, I don't want Camelot to disappear. I mean, they have written so many good albums, but the last 2 have not been good in terms of fan reception. Like, oh gosh, why can't I remember the names? I now remember them. The Shadow Theory was kind of mixed bag with fans, but The Awakening has just not received very good reviews at all. And I really don't want this band to end on this kind of a note. So, yeah, that's where I'm probably going to go with this one. Yeah, it's tricky because there's a lot of bands. Like, I know some people would say Iron Maiden or Manowar or whoever, but Camelot, in my opinion, is the one that I think needs the biggest save right now. And that is that. That is my response to the Metal Tag 2026. This was a lot of fun, and it was kind of tough to choose which albums I was going to go to. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're new to the channel, there we go. If you're new to the channel, give this video a like, a thumbs up, and if you're new, let me just redo this. So, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe, because I do stuff like this mostly all the time. And stay tuned for March, when my next YouTube video will be, if you've seen my community post. But until then, viewers, my name is Cal, and I will catch you trackside. Have a great night.